Good morning, everybody. We are going to go ahead and get started with our mobility and stretch workout for today. On my Apple Watch, I am actually using flexibility as my option, but we're just going to start, take a couple nice deep breaths in and then out. And we're just warming up, so it's okay if your shoulders, if your arms don't go all the way up overhead. We just want to find that nice pain-free range of motion, and hopefully by the end of class your shoulders will feel better and it will be a little bit easier for you to reach up and overhead. Good, and let's bring our arm out to the front, and we're just going to do a nice good open and close. So think about giving yourself a nice good pat on the back and then stretching the chest. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it into the center. We're going to take a deep breath in, reach up, and then exhale, reach it back. So we're just swinging. We're really trying to just be nice and loose and relaxed. Palms facing in, thumbs up, and then pinkies reach back behind us. Our core stays nice and steady, so we're really focusing on just the shoulders. Good, 2, and 1. Bring it in, tap the toes to the side, reach your arms across the body. You're moving something out of the way. So it's a little tap. 4, 3, 2. Let's change the arms, and now we're going to add in a little bit of a side bend and a little sway. Wash the windows. It's a little late in the year for that, but at least for me, it's a little chilly to be trying to wash windows right now. 2, 1, bring it into the center, shoulders down, little bit of a tuck of the ribs, set the shoulders, reach the arms out, palms facing forwards. We're just going to do nice good shoulder circles. We're starting small. Good, and then let's change direction. So movement comes from the shoulders, arms are straight, 2, and 1, bring it down. We're going to do our side sways again, but this time our hips don't go anywhere. We're focusing on stretching the side of the body. The nice thing about this warm up is it's really it's pretty basic, and you can use it before anything. So before a strength workout, before mobility, before cardio, if you want to do this before you go for a walk in the morning, or maybe you can do this before you go shovel snow or go on a bike ride, anything like that. Good. Bring it into the center. Feet hip width apart, toes pointing forwards. And we're going to go with our hip circles or our hip ovals, as the case may be. Good. Change direction. We're going to do this with 3 different foot positions. Good. Bring it in the center. We're going to duck foot just a little bit. Turn those toes out. And we're going to do our little circles. Good, and change direction. Bring it into the center, and now we're going to turn the toes in, a little bit of a pigeon toe, move from the hips versus from the knees down. Just a nice good circle. And I feel this more in my right leg. Good, change direction. And you're usually going to find that one leg, you feel it when you do the internal or the external, you feel a little bit more tightness in certain areas. Good. Bring it into the center. Going to go for our leg swings. If you want to hold on to something, please do. We're just going to swing it front to back. This is a really good one. These 2 exercises we're about to do are 2 of my favorites. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switch it over to the other side, same thing. So just swing and swing. And it's okay if your swing is down here. We just want to get that movement. And we want to keep our core nice and tight. So, you know, a little bit of movement in the back, but we're really keeping that core nice and tight. 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in. I like to face a wall or hold onto a chair with plenty of space in front of me and to the side of me. I'm going to stand nice and tall. And we're going to take the leg out and cross it in front. So the leg that's not moving, we're still standing nice and tall. It's going to help us keep that moving foot off of the floor. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in, switch it over to the other side. Same thing, standing tall, out, and cross. How big the cross is completely up to you. You can just bring it to the center. And we want to try to get those big movements, as big as your hips will let you go. 3, 2, and 1. Bring it into the center. We're going to take our legs nice and wide, toes pointing forwards or a little bit out. Nice and tall. We're just going to do a little gentle double pulse and double pulse. And yesterday was New Year's, and I did not work out yesterday. And boy, I can tell. I was very stiff the rest of the day. It's the hard part with the holidays. There's nothing wrong with taking a day off, but sometimes I can definitely tell if my body's used to that routine, used to working out in the morning, and I don't do it. It's like you kind of feel it the rest of the day. At least now that I'm getting older. It's kind of interesting to see the difference between when you were in your 20s, or like even when you were a kid, like you see the way some of these toddlers sleep, you know, heads down, buns in the air, they're perfectly fine. I sleep like that and I can't move for like a month. Good, bring it into the center, keeping the legs nice and wide, tall spine. We're going to do front, middle, and back. So we're going to reach forward between the feet, and then we're going to reach behind us. So forward, middle, reach back. We're keeping our knees pretty straight here. So we're getting a little hamstring stretch. We're also working on hinging at the hips versus hinging at our back. It's okay if you don't touch the floor. I find that after I do a few of these, my range of motion improves, and I'm able to go a little bit farther. Good, couple more. Forward, middle, reach back. One more time, forward, middle, reach back. Carefully come back up, keeping the legs wide. We've got one more exercise here. Arms are out straight to the side. Side lunge, reach for the foot or reach for the calf. If you need to stay more upright, you can be here and do a little torso rotation, or just reach for the inside of your knee. It's completely up to you. How far you go is between you, your spine, your hips, ankles, etc. Good, here's 4, 3, 2. All right, we're going to take it down into a plank position. So you can just go from here. I have to turn sideways. So hands down, step it back into a plank. We're going to lift up. We're going to go down dog and then back to plank. So down dog and plank. And you can do this at an incline. Now you can take your legs a little bit wide. Down dog, reach for the opposite foot and back to plank. So you can take it back, reach, hand down, and then come in. So break it down into pieces if you need to. Good, couple more. 2 and 1. Good, carefully bring it in. We're going to take our knees down to the ground. We're going to stay down here and we're going to go ahead and get started with our workout. We're going to be on hands and knees for a few exercises. Just remember, you are welcome to do this at an incline. So you can have your hands against a wall or hands on the seat of the chair, but we're just going to start with a nice good cat-cow. So take a deep breath in, open the chest, lift the head, gentle arch of the back, and then exhale, tuck your spine. Good. So inhale and exhale. If you don't want to do the spine movement, I understand. What you're going to do is you're going to hold a neutral spine. You're going to breathe into your belly, expand your tummy, and then you're going to exhale and pull it in. It's a little bit hard to see, but you're going to inhale and exhale. Good. But if you can do the arch and the round, please do. Good. Couple more, just like this. So in, open the chest, squeeze the shoulders. Exhale, push the floor away, tuck your chin. Good. One more time. In and out. Good. Now we're going to work on a little bit of spine stability. We just did mobility. Now we're doing more stability. We're going to hold a down dog, or not a down dog, but we're going to hold our tabletop, tap the toe back, and bring it in. Tap the toe back and bring it in. So your option one is hands and knees. Notice nothing is moving except my hips down to my toes. If you want to make this a little bit harder, lift up into bear. So that means that your toes are down, but your knees are a couple inches off the floor. A little more stability. Imagine you've got a glass of water on your back and you don't want to spill. Good. 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Carefully bring it down. Sit the hips back towards your heels just a little bit. We're going to do a quick child's pose, and then we're going to be doing a little bit of down dog and then a walk the dog. Let's bring it back up. Coming back onto hands and knees, shoulders down, tuck the toes under. Take a nice deep breath, and we're going to lift it up and back into a down dog. My elbows are straight. I'm kind of pushing down and into the floor, opening my arms underneath the shoulders to try to get my ears between my elbows. And I have my hips up in the air, nice good spine position. If you can drop your heels, great. If you can't, soften your knees a little bit. So you can soften your knees if you want to get more of a calf stretch, or keep the knees straight and the heels up if you're going for hamstrings. Good. 3, 2, 1. Carefully bring it back down, knees to the floor. You can sit back a little bit, give yourself a break. We're going to lift it up into down dog again, and we're going to walk the dog. Here's 2 and 1. So come back up to our tabletop. Lift the hips up, press it back, and soften your knees. And now we're all going to alternate our heel drops. Remember, you can have your hand on the seat of a chair. You'll be at a little bit more of an incline. It's a great starting place. Good. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Carefully bring it back down, knees to the floor, hips to the heels. Reach those arms out. Good. Let's bring it back up. We're going to flip over onto our buns. Actually, no, we're not going to flip over onto our buns. I was like, what am I doing today? We're going to take those knees wide. I was like, we have more stuff here. Knees wide. Toes and heels are closer together, but we're still tucking our toes under. And we're going to sit our hips back towards our heels. And we're just going to do a nice, good kind of forward fold. And we're doing a little inner thigh stretch. Now, some of you might be able to go into a little bit more of a split, but it's completely up to you. We're just going to go ahead and sit it back into our frog and then try to reach forwards if you can. Now, some of you might be in more of a child's pose. That is okay. This is a little bit of an inner thigh stretch. I'm going to come back up. And remember, you can have your knees in a little bit more and still reach out. Good, 3, 2, 1. Coming back up, coming back to a plank. We're going to bring those knees in, and we're going to walk our knees and our toes back. We're going to point our toes, shoulders down, and we're going to gently start to drop our hips down towards the floor, variation of up dog. If being on your wrists is uncomfortable, or if this is too much of a bend for your low back, come down onto your forearms and try a sphinx. And if that's too much, just come all the way down onto your tummy. Rest your chin on your hands. So we want to have our shoulders down and back. We're squeezing our glutes. We're trying to push our hips into the floor versus really overarching our low back. Here's 3, 2, 1. Let's lift up, tuck the toes under. Sit the hips back a little bit until your hips are right over your knees, and then we're going to walk our hands forwards. So a lot of times when we do child's pose, we push our hips to our heels. If you can, keep your hips over your knees. Reach it out and drop your forehead towards the floor. This is a good one. If you're struggling with this one a little bit, have your hands on the seat of a chair. Still trying to keep your hips over your knees as much as you can. If they go back a little bit, it's okay. But we're trying to stretch under the arms, and again, gentle arch of the low back. You find the range of motion that feels the best. Good, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go ahead and bring it up. Walk your hips back towards your heels. We're going to come up for what they call a couch stretch, and you have options. But if you have a couch nearby, or a yoga block is a good substitution. I'm going to come down here. We're going to do our hip stretch. So you absolutely have the option just to do a regular half kneeling hip stretch. But if you want to get a little bit more quad and your knees are okay with it, you're going to walk it back until you're able to maybe get the top of your foot to rest on the front of your couch. Now this is also a balance challenge, a little bit of a challenge just to get up into this position. Definitely put something underneath your knee if you need to, but you still have the tuck, you still have the squeeze, and a little bit of a push forwards. And you can see I am not super flexible here. I can usually do hip stretch or knee stretch, but doing both at the same time is really challenging for me. If you need to, and if you have the balance for it, you can absolutely be here. So some people, this works out a little bit better. Feel free to hold on to something, or also feel free to just be here. You can have that back foot on a yoga block. That's a good way to do it, is just to have that foot on a yoga block. Elevate it a little. You start low, work your way up. Good, 3, 2, 1. Carefully bring it down. We're going to switch it to the other side. So start as close to the wall as you can get if you're going to do that one. Hands on the floor, get that foot where you want it to be, and then you can start to move that front foot forwards. But we hold it here. I'm going to just grab the top of my foot, partly because it's just easier for all of you to see, and my knee is okay with it. This is one that if your knee doesn't like it, modify here, tuck and squeeze, or even standing. If you've done hip flexor stretches with me, we know some of the different modifications that we can do. Good, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and bring it in. We're going to switch. We're going to try that couch stretch, and we're going to add a side bend. Now you can just do your half kneeling. Remember, you have options, but point your toe. Good couch stretch. Bring it up, and then adding in that side bend. If the couch stretch is too much, just have your toes on the floor, or just do the side bend. We're getting a little hip, but we're also getting the side of our body. These are the 3 that we're going to do. These are like the most challenging stretches that we have today. The rest of them are fairly basic, fairly simple. Good. Bring it in, switch it over to the other side. What I have found is I am flexible enough. I actually end up being kind of on the top of my knee. So instead of being on my kneecap, I actually am a little bit on the top of my knee. Good, adding in that side bend. So I'm a little bit more on my hip than or not on my hip, on my quad than I am on my knee. But do what feels good. I just want you to get a hip stretch and a side bend. So if your toe's on the floor, your toe is on the floor. Like I said, the 3 exercises we're doing now are probably a little bit more challenging. Good, 3, 2, 1, bring it in. We're going to carefully switch. We've got one more. And again, this is one. Have that back foot on the floor. I'm going to reach back towards the wall. The closer you are, the harder it is for your knee, but the easier it is to reach. And it's okay if you don't touch the wall. Just squeeze the glute, reach it forwards. Good. Bring it in, switch it over to the other side. Take your time. Modify as needed. Reach it up and back. Good. 3, 2, 1. Bring it in. We're going to come to a regular half kneeling position. No couch stretch. No couch stretch. So good half kneeling position. Check your body position. Squeeze your glute. Tuck your tail. Little bit of a press forwards. Hands are lightly behind the ears, and we're going to squeeze our shoulder blades together. So option 1, we're keeping a neutral spine, ribs tucked. Option 2, we squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then we also add a little bit of a chest opener. This is optional. I really want you to focus on the squeeze. So we don't want elbows here. We're squeezing, and then we have the option to open the chest up. Good. Release. Switching over to the other side. Good. So tuck the tail, squeeze the glute, hands behind the ears, stretching the hip, stretching the shoulder blades, or stretching the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades, and then you can add that little push forwards, and then you can add the opening of the chest. We just want to make sure that we're not arching our back without squeezing the shoulder blades together, because this is going to stretch our chest. This is going to activate those muscles on the back side of our body. And remember, here is perfectly fine. You do what feels good today. Good. 2, 1. Bring it in. We're going onto our buns. Officially, we are going onto our buns now, not like earlier. All right. So we're going to do just bottom of the foot. Bottoms of the feet touching, a little bit of a butterfly style stretch. I like to grab my toes, press my knees out, and then I actually rotate my toes up towards the ceiling a little bit. It's not a very big movement, but it kind of helps me stay tall, and it helps me kind of start to press those knees out. But if you need to keep your feet flat, that's okay too. Just stretching the outside of the body. Right, 3, 2, 1. Let's bring it in. Take that right leg out to the side, or right leg out front. Left leg, we're going to cross it over. Foot on the floor. Sit as tall as we can. We're going to grab our knee, pull it up and over towards our opposite shoulder. Now you have the option to dig the elbow into your thigh to press it over, but you're also going to be adding in a torso rotation. If you have issues with osteoporosis and osteopenia, hold it in the center and then just pull your knee to your opposite side. But I will say that exercise makes a huge difference for those of you that may have osteoporosis or osteopenia. Good, switch. It doesn't happen for everybody, but I've got a couple of students that did have to go off of medication and they are no longer considered at risk. Good, so bring the knees up. We're switching over to the other side. Left leg out, right foot crosses over. Sit tall. So exercise does help a lot. Depending on how severe it is, it may not reverse it, but it may help pause it and keep it from getting worse. And then depending on age and everything, you can get better and not be on medication, especially if you go from sedentary to more active. So if you go from sedentary to active, it makes a huge difference. Good, so if you want, drive that elbow into that thigh, sitting nice and tall. Good, release. We're going to flip over onto our backs and we're going to start with windshield wipers. Option 1, your feet stay on the floor. Option 2, you can bring the feet off of the floor, but really watch your body position in your core. We're going to be on our backs. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Take your arms out to the side, palms facing up, and we're just going to rotate one side and then rotate the other. I am focusing on keeping my knees together, so I do have my feet coming up off of the floor, and I'm focusing on trying to keep my opposite shoulder on the floor. So we want to try not to do a big lift. I do find I lift more on this side, which does not surprise me. If you want to make it a little bit harder, you can be here, but the same rules apply. Your opposite shoulder stays on the floor. We're keeping our knees together. We're getting a torso stretch. Your range of motion might be smaller. You might just be doing a little wiggle side to side. And this is another one. It's with osteoporosis and osteopenia, it's the twisting and the rotating, and then the flexing and extending. So you just want to limit that. And it's also the repetition. So holding a stretch is sometimes okay, but the repeated movements are not. But here's 2. And 1. Bring it into the center. Left foot is going to go down onto the floor. Your right foot, we're going to cross our ankle just above our knee and rest it on the thigh. And we're going to take this knee and we're going to bring it out to the side. So you're making a figure 4. Or sometimes they call it like a French 4. Now you can start with your legs farther out and then work your way farther in, and then keeping this knee out to the side, you can also pull in on that opposite leg, grabbing behind your thigh. This is one where one side works really well for me, the other side not so much. So I'm keeping my hips on the floor. I'm really working on stretching my hamstring and my outer thigh here. Good, 3, 2, 1, release, and we're going to switch. So right foot down, left leg, ankle over your thigh. Take that knee, open it out to the side, and again, start farther out if you're really tight. Work your way in, lift it up, and then you can also optionally add a little bit of a pull in. I'm trying to be really careful with this side, because again, this is the side where I've got issues with my SI joint and some of my hip flexors, so I'm being a little bit more gentle on this side and really listening to my body and letting it tell me what it's okay with today. Good, 3, 2, 1, bring it in. We're going to pull both knees in towards the chest, and you can just hold it, a little hug. If you want to, you can lift your upper body and tuck your chin just a little, kind of like you're taking your nose towards your knees. And then optional, you can add a little side to side wiggle. This is another one. You don't have to go very far. Just wiggle. All right, let's take it all the way to one side. And we're going to come up to a seated position. And we're just going to sit nice and tall. You can sit whatever position is comfortable for you. So if you want to sit cross-legged, straight-legged, butterfly, I think I'm going to do butterfly today. We're going to sit nice and tall, and we're just going to take our ear to our shoulder side to side. So our shoulder is down, so we just don't want to have our shoulders popping up by our ears. So sit however is comfortable for you. Ear to shoulder, side to side. Good. Let's bring our head up, and now we're going to look to one side, look to the other. Good. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it into the center. We're going to take our right hand and we're going to take it back behind us, and we're going to see if we can reach. It's hard to see. Reach towards the other side. Pull that shoulder down, and then wherever our fingers are reaching towards, that's where we're going to take our ear. So we're trying to lengthen the side of our neck right here. And maybe this arm can't go behind you. Maybe you can just reach down towards the floor, like you're trying to pull the shoulder down and lift the ear up towards the ceiling. If this feels okay, we're going to also nod our head yes. And then if it feels okay, we're also going to shake our head no. So just think armpit, ceiling with your nose. Good. Release, bring it up. We're going to switch sides. So take your hand, back of the hand goes to the small of the back. Can you pull the shoulder down and back? Reach towards the opposite side of the body, or reach down towards the floor. And we're going to lean the ear away, and we're going to hold. So we still want to try to sit tall. We don't want to be hunkered over and rounded, but we don't want to overarch our back and puff up our chest. If this feels okay, again, we're going to nod our head yes. And then release, and if it feels okay, we're also going to shake our head no. Nose goes to the floor, nose goes towards the ceiling. It's 2 and 1. Good. Bring it into the center. We're going to take our legs out into a little bit of a pike. So legs are out straight in front of us, shoulders down and back, and we're just going to start to walk ourselves forwards. A little hamstring stretch, but our spine is still staying pretty neutral. So think about pressing your chest towards your toes, or your forehead goes forward versus your nose going down towards your knees. So we just want to reach it forwards. And I am not super flexible. But notice I'm not rounding. I'm trying to stay tall. Knees staying down to the floor. Nice, good stretch. Bring it up. We're going to take the legs wide now. Wider, I should say. So some of you might be able to go full pancake. Some of you might still be just a little bit out to the front. And then same thing. You can always start just by sitting up tall, and then start to push yourself a little bit forwards, and then can you start to walk yourself forwards. And I think about kind of rotating my pelvis towards the front. You can add a little press out, but again, we don't want to round just to get our forehead to the floor. We're trying to stay tall. Press that chest forward and out. Good. In 3, 2, 1. Bring it in. Bring those legs in. We're going to sit as tall as we can. This one's going to work our hip flexors. Last exercise for today. We're going to lift the leg, and we're going to point and flex. So we're getting hip flexor work here and ankles. 2, 1. Good. Set it down. Sitting tall. Lift your leg just a little bit off of the floor, just enough to do your point and your flex. 2 and 1. Good. Set it down. Same thing, sitting tall. Now we're going to circle the ankle, and it's hard to see, but I'm lifting with my muscles right here. Change direction. Good. And set it down, sitting tall. And some of you may need a little bit of support, but sit as tall as you can. Nice, good circles. If you feel a cramp, set it down, rest. Good. Change direction. Give it a rest, and then try again. Good. Bring it in, sitting nice and tall. Give yourself a little bit of space. We're going to take a deep breath in, spread the fingers, and as we exhale, we're going to close our hands one finger at a time. Thumb touches each finger on the way down. Good. Big breath in. Spread the fingers, finger circles, thumb to index, middle, ring, and pinky. Good. Couple more. Big breath in. Exhale, thumb to index, middle, ring, and pinky. Good. One more time. Big breath in. Exhale, thumb to index, middle, ring, and pinky. And you are all done.